Yes, my question is coming from the previous question that you made to CAP about PR and how to do it well. And my question to CAP then, I should introduce myself. I'm Jacqueline Nelson with the Alberta Stewardship Network. In my other life, I'm a rancher, and so I have dealt with oil and gas. And my question is, how do you move PR into corporate social responsibility that's embedded all through the levels of the operation, right down to the guy on the ground who's driving the water truck up to the well site? That's like, it's one thing to go out with your message. How do you take it internally? And, have you got any advice there?
Again, very, very good question. Obviously, it is two different things. Talking about saying, walking the walk and talking the walk are different things. We have tried, and our members are working to really, embed stewardship in the ethics of their companies and in how they do business. Our stewardship process is approved at the highest levels in the companies. It's something that's looked at the board level. So we have buy-in at the very, very senior level. They work to drive it down within their companies. Does everybody have the same record and the same amount of internalized commitment? No, I'm sure it's not identical. The objective is to have it be identical. I know we do stewardship awards every year, and I think that's a very effective way with outside adjudicators who are not part of our members of our companies or part of our staff. We see a lot of our companies are very, very competitive about those. They're really pushing people forward, and they really value the fact that their projects receive awards. And often it is the people out in the fields who are put in for those awards. I don't have a short answer to your question. It's a very good one. It's something we are working at. We will continue to work at. We definitely view stewardship as one of those issues for our industry that's a matter of continuous improvement. It's not going to stop where it is now. We're going to continue to demand more and more effectively of the membership, and they of themselves.
My name is Walter Munde, and I work for Alberta, First Nations Alberta Technical Services Advisory Group. Our office is in Edmonton. And the question goes to Bob. In less than 3 weeks ago, I've heard the word zero tillage. And I stand to be corrected that the zero tillage idea came as a result or came into being because we wanted to protect erosion or minimize erosion. And it is and the minimum tillage is a way of exercising integrated pest management, which means we don't rely on the use of chemicals all the time. So it's surprising for me to hear that zero tillage is a way for crop production, especially here in Canada. And how can we implement zero tillage without burning with fire, burning the weeds with fires or using pesticides, which we want to abstain from?
I think, zero tillage probably has stemmed from a lot of different reasons, and I think it depends, where you were situated in Western Canada. A lot of people seen zero tillage as twofold, a way to conserve moisture and trap snow in our climate, and that's been probably one of the main reasons. The second reason, I think, was to reduce input costs and passes over the fields. And whether you looked at tillage as a control mechanism for pests or weeds versus chemical applications, I think there's probably varying opinions on that. As a minimum till farmer, I look at it as twofold: conservation of moisture, reduced inputs, whether it's reducing inputs on the chemical side or just reducing inputs on machinery and fertilizers, that sort of thing. So it's something that has evolved over a long period of time. I don't know if I'm really answering your question, but it means many different things to many different people, and it depends on the situation and the variance of your landscape, and and the success you get with it. Because a lot of people have tried minimum and zero tillage and have had probably an economic downturn on their operation, so they've changed, or the crops they grow, it all varies also. So I don't know if that really answered your question.
I'm sorry.
If you want to pursue it further, go.
Okay.
Yeah, no, go ahead.
Okay, I'm just sorry to come to the microphone again now. The idea is we want to get away from the use of chemicals on our farms. And if we still have to say we have to have zero tillage, especially in Canada where we have heavy machinery plowing our fields every day, compacting the soil, and we still say we cannot till the soil, soil compaction will not allow the root system to grow very well. And it's going to allow us to continue using pesticide, which is more dangerous to our environment.
I would say one of the pioneers in zero tillage in Manitoba, and I've heard him speak a few times, and it's been a while since I've heard him speak, but he was really, I think his next challenge was intercropping. And he pioneered zero tillage on his farm, and I think his next venture was intercropping. Now, I'm not sure how that's working out, but that would be, obviously the more plant material, the more crops, or the more or less bare soil you have, the less opportunity for weeds and other reasons to use chemicals are there. So there's some options. Actually, we've probably found that by reducing tillage, your soil structure improves because of the decomposition and breakdown of root systems as they work your way through the soils, and that's a long-term project. So, I guess it depends what you want to grow, and that's the other thing. Are you a bean and corn farmer, or are you a wheat farmer? So it varies also on what you're trying to grow.
You'll be next, but just if I could just make one comment. We have a limited amount of time with these panelists, and I will remind you that the session was designed to put into relief the responses we can get to the recommendations of the stewardship report. So if you wish to focus on that in subsequent questions, please do, but I'm not discouraging any types of questions.